Following the creation of the earth, the heavens, the air, the mountains, the forests, and the rivers, the Anunnaki enjoyed a period of peace and tranquility. The Anunnaki looked upon their work with pride. They had turned chaos into order, sculpting the raw materials of the cosmos into a world teeming with potential. But amidst the grandeur of their creation, a realization dawned upon them. The earth, for all its splendor, was missing something. Something that would go on to change the course of history forever. But before we proceed, I'd like to make something clear. Just like I mentioned in my previous video, link in the top right-hand corner, I will not be talking about the works and interpretations of Zecharia Sitchin, marking the Anunnaki as extraterrestrials. Rather, this will be based solely on the ancient Sumerian and Mesopotamian texts. With that out of the way, let us talk about the Anunnaki's most prized creation, human beings and their near extinction. The Anunnaki, though mighty, found themselves ensnared in the endless task of shaping and tending to the earth on their own, something that they began to see as beneath them. In addition, they felt that the world they had created was far too silent, devoid of voices to sing the gods' praises or hands to build temples in their honor. The world needed inhabitants, beings who could appreciate the beauty of the gods' work, partake in the bounty of the earth, and pay homage to the celestial beings who had brought it all into existence. It was Enki, the god of wisdom, whose mind always brimmed with solutions, who proposed a daring idea. "Let us create beings in our image," he suggested, "creatures who will shoulder some of our burdens and celebrate our deeds." This notion, radical yet filled with promise, sparked interest among the divine. Enki's vision was one of partnership and reverence. These new beings would cultivate the earth, partake in its bounty, and in return, uphold the glory of the Anunnaki through temples, prayers, and rituals. Thus, the decision was made. The Anunnaki, in their infinite wisdom, resolved to create life forms capable of worship and devotion. This would not be just another act of creation, but a gift of life itself, a sharing of their divine essence with beings made of earth and water. The stage was set for the dawn of humanity, a new chapter in the cosmic saga that would forever change the relationship between heaven and earth. In this act of creation, the Anunnaki sought not just to populate the world, but to enrich it with beings capable of love, creativity, and destruction, beings made in the image of the gods themselves. The creation of humans would be the gods' greatest achievement and their most enduring legacy, a testament to their power and their compassion. But as the gods would soon learn, with creation comes unpredictability, and the story of humanity would be one of both profound connection and inevitable conflict. Ninhursag, the goddess of the earth whose benevolence knew no bounds, joined hands with Enki in this monumental task. Together, in a place where the waters of Enki's realm caressed the fertile soil of the earth, they set about their work. Ninhursag gathered the clay, rich and malleable, from the riverbanks, a gift from the earth itself. Enki, wielding the essence of life found in the river's waters, prepared to imbue their creation with vitality. As Enki and Ninhursag melded the clay and water, a divine spark ignited within the nascent forms of the first humans. With a gentle breeze, the breath of life was bestowed upon them, awakening their souls to the world. These first humans opened their eyes to the faces of their creators, a silent vow of guardianship and reverence passing between them. But the earth was vast, and the skies stretched endless and blue. It was not only humans that were needed to fill this grand expanse. From the same clay, Ninhursag and Enki fashioned the animals, creatures of the land, the sky, and the waters. Each animal, unique in form and purpose, was designed to live in harmony with the earth and its human stewards. The lions roamed the plains, the birds took to the skies, and the fish swam in the rivers and seas, each according to its nature. The gods desired not only for servants in maintaining the world, but for a world teeming with life, diversity, and beauty. Humans and animals alike were tasked with the care of the earth, a sacred duty bestowed upon them by Enki and Ninhursag, ensuring that the bond between the divine and the mortal realm would endure through the ages. A new dawn broke over the world, one where the sound of human voices and the symphony of nature sang together in a harmonious rhyme to the gods who had made it all possible. The Anunnaki watched over this world they had shaped, a world now vibrant with life and capable of worship, love, and the complexities of existence. Under the watchful eyes of the Anunnaki, a sacred pact was born. This covenant wove the fate of humans and gods together. The Anunnaki, seated atop their thrones, bestowed upon humanity the gifts of knowledge and life itself. They taught humans everything from farming to masonry. They taught them the rules of morality and law and order. In return, humans pledged to serve the gods and honor them with every fiber of their being. Some humans were specifically chosen by the gods to be leaders or priests, while others were expected to perform a series of different jobs for the gods, such as agricultural work. Humans were tasked with cultivating the land and ensuring the fertility of the fields. Agriculture was central to Mesopotamian society, and the myths reflect this by emphasizing humans' role in farming and irrigation. Their work involved plowing fields, planting seeds, irrigating crops, and harvesting, all to sustain themselves and to make offerings to the gods. Construction and maintenance of temples. One of the primary duties of humans was to build and maintain all manner of buildings and temples, which served as the earthly abodes of the Anunnaki. These temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of economic and administrative activity. Constructing these structures required a significant amount of labor, including quarrying, hauling stones, and the intricate work of masonry and decoration. Rituals and offerings. Humans were responsible for conducting rituals and making offerings to honor the Anunnaki, ensure their favor, and avert their wrath. This included preparing food offerings, animal sacrifices, and other goods that would be presented in the temples. Priests and priestesses played a key role in these activities, acting as intermediaries between the gods and the people. Craftsmanship and artistry. The Anunnaki expected humans to excel in craftsmanship and artistry, creating beautiful works that honored the divine. This included pottery, weaving, metalwork, and sculpture. Artisans dedicated their crafts to the gods, and many of their works were used in temple rituals or as offerings. Administration and law. As human societies in Mesopotamia became more complex, the administration of cities and the enforcement of laws became necessary to maintain order. The mythology suggests that the Anunnaki provided the initial codes of law, most famously, the Code of Hammurabi, which was said to be inspired by the god of the sun and justice, Utu. Humans were expected to govern themselves according to these divine laws, ensuring justice and harmony within their communities. Canal and city building. Beyond agricultural fields, humans were tasked with the construction of canals for irrigation and the building of cities. The organization of space, both for living and for the gods, was a reflection of the cosmic order the Anunnaki established. This required extensive planning, labor, and maintenance to ensure the prosperity of the city-states and the land. In these ways, humans served the Anunnaki, contributing to the sustenance of the divine order through their labor, devotion, and adherence to laws and rituals. This relationship between the Anunnaki and humans reflects the deeply interconnected nature of the divine, the natural world, and society in Sumerian and Mesopotamian thought. In this golden age of harmony, humans flourished like a well-tended garden under the benevolence of the Anunnaki. The gods did not remain aloof in their heavenly abode, but walked among their creations, teaching them the secrets of the cosmos. Agriculture, writing, and the laws that would become the foundation of civilizations were gifts from the gods, tools to shape a world that reflected the divine order. As the seasons turned, so too did the relationship between humans and Anunnaki deepen. Festivals lit up the calendar, times when the veil between the divine and mortal thinned, and joyous celebrations filled the streets and fields. Humans offered the fruits of their labor to the gods, and in return, the gods showered them with blessings, ensuring their crops were bountiful and their cities prospered. In some rare instances, The Anunnaki even took humans as their consort, leading to the creations of demigods, half-human, half-god hybrids. One such example would be between the goddess of love and war, Inanna, also known as Ishtar, and a simple shepherd named Dumuzi. This era of coexistence was marked by a profound respect and mutual dependence. The gods, fueled by the worship and devotion of humanity, wielded their powers to protect and guide their followers. Miracles were not uncommon, and the divine presence was a tangible force in the daily lives of all. Yet this idyllic state was not to last forever. As humanity grew and spread across the face of the earth, the balance between the divine and the mortal began to shift. The once harmonious song of coexistence grew discordant, setting the stage for a cataclysm that would test the very foundation of the covenant between humans and gods. As the dawn of civilization spread its light over the world, the creations of the Anunnaki began to carve their mark upon the earth. Cities rose, fields expanded, and the hum of human activity filled the air. This crescendo of civilization, while a testament to human ingenuity, began to fray the threads of harmony between the divine and the mortal. In the divine assembly, where the gods convened, a tension simmered. The ceaseless ruckus of humanity, once a melody of worship and labor, had grown into a clamor that disturbed the peace of the gods. Among them, voices of discord spoke about how their world was now unrecognizable, overwhelmed by the creations of man. Over time, the lawlessness, violence, wickedness, and moral corruption of humanity grew. In their hubris, humans began to disregard the gods, believing themselves to be of the utmost importance, leading to the events of the Eridu Genesis, also known as the Sumerian flood myth. The gods, once accustomed to the reverence and tranquility of earlier times, found their restlessness growing. A council was called, a gathering of the gods, to address this growing discord. Within this Congress, Enlil was particularly upset at the current state of the world. As the gods conversed, Enlil proposed a radical idea. He suggested a great flood to return the world to its primordial silence and cleanse it of the tumult of mankind. This was no mere storm, but a cataclysm that would erase the slate of creation, allowing the gods to reclaim the tranquility they yearned for. While Anu, the sky god, was typically seen as the leader of the Anunnaki, Enlil was second in command and was given free reign over the earth. Thus, his decision to destroy humanity with a great flood went unchallenged, for the most part. This idea was not accepted by some of the other gods, particularly Enki, the god of water and wisdom, and the half-brother to Enlil. Despite Enki's pleas, Enlil ultimately chose to proceed with the flood, an act of divine retribution. However, Enki was not one to give up so easily. If his brother would not listen to him, Enki would have to take matters into his own hands. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, King Utnapishtim, also known as Ziusudra, the Sumerian counterpart to the biblical Noah, is forewarned about the flood by Enki. Enki instructed Utnapishtim to abandon all his earthly belonging and begin the construction of a great ship called the Preserver of Life. In secret, Utnapishtim was given the blueprints of this massive ship and began construction immediately. It was made out of timber so that the rays of the sun could not shine through, and its length, width, and height were of equal dimensions. The ship contained 7 floors, and each floor was divided into 9 sections. Utnapishtim worked tirelessly on the ship, managing to complete construction in 7 days. Once done, Enki told Utnapishtim to gather his wife, family, and relatives along with the craftsmen of his village, baby animals of all kinds, and grain and other foods for sustenance. The cataclysmic flood would wipe out all animals and people not on the ship. This act of saving Utnapishtim and his family, along with specimens of every living creature, can be interpreted as a test of humanity's obedience and virtue. As everyone boarded the ship, the entrance was sealed shut, preventing the incoming floodwaters from seeping inside and preserving the seed of humanity. Enlil, the mighty lord of the air and storm, guardian of the atmosphere and arbiter of weather, became the harbinger of this devastating flood. His heart heavy with the weight of his decision, Enlil summoned the powers at his command. The skies darkened, a foreboding silence enveloped the world, and then, as if the heavens themselves wept, rain began to fall. It was no ordinary rain, but a cascade of heavenly tears that flooded the rivers, overwhelmed the seas, and swept across the land. Enlil's tempest, a storm of unfathomable power, roared across the earth, obliterating the works of humanity, drowning the cries of civilization beneath its relentless waves. As the storm unleashed its wrath, the ark became a beacon of hope, afloat on the endless seas that now covered the world. The waters, though merciless in their destruction, cradled the ark gently. For days the flood raged, a force of destruction that consumed everything in its path. Mountains were covered, cities were submerged, and all that lived faced extinction. The world, once vibrant with life and human endeavor, became a vast ocean, an endless expanse of water where only the peaks of the highest mountains pierced the surface like islands in a gray, storm-tossed sea. After 12 days on the water, Utnapishtim opened the hatch of his ship to look around and saw the slopes of Mount Nasir, where he parked his ship for 7 days. On the 7th day, he sent a dove out to see if the water had receded, and the dove could find nothing but water, so it returned. He waited some time and then he sent out a swallow, and just as before, and again it returned, having found nothing. Finally, after waiting some more, Utnapishtim sent out a raven. The raven saw that the waters had receded, so it circled around but did not return. This was a sign, and Utnapishtim decided the time had come to exit the ship. This act of divine retribution, while aimed at silencing the clamor of humanity, was not without its differences among the gods. Not all agreed with the drastic measure, and within the ranks of the Anunnaki, a plan was set in motion to save a remnant of humanity, to ensure that life would endure beyond the wrath of the flood. The fate of mankind now rested in the hands of a single man, chosen to survive the deluge and become the seed of a new world. The floodwater receded as suddenly as it had come, its waters withdrawing like a curtain pulling back to reveal the stage of a new world. Utnapishtim, stepping forth onto the reborn earth, found himself the guardian of life's fragile flame. In an act of gratitude and reverence, he offered sacrifices to the heavens, his prayers ascending on the smoke that rose to greet the gods. Enlil, looking down from the sky above, saw an unexpected sight of smoke, indicating the prayers of mankind. Puzzled, Enlil descended from the heavens to survey the true extent of the devastation. His intention had been to reset the balance and to erase humans from the face of the earth. What he found instead was a breach in his divine plan, a single act of defiance that defied his will. Hidden among the peaks of Mount Nasir, a ship of unprecedented scale caught his eye. This ark, crafted from the knowledge bestowed by Enki, held within it the seeds of humanity's survival, carefully preserved by Utnapishtim, a man whose fate was now intertwined with the destiny of the gods. Enlil's wrath erupted upon this discovery. How could it be that humans walked the earth still when his decree had been so clear? His gaze turned towards Enki, the brother whose wisdom and cunning intellect had always been a foil to his own might and judgment. The confrontation between Enlil and Enki, atop the mountains where life had found its refuge, was charged with the power of storm clouds colliding. Enlil's voice thundered, accusing Enki of treachery, of undermining the collective will of the Anunnaki for his own ends. Enlil's fury conjured storm clouds, as if to unleash another devastating flood to finish the job, and to destroy Enki in the process. But Enki, ever the sage, spoke not in defense, but in wisdom. He reminded Enlil of the sanctity of life, of the potential for growth and learning that humanity possessed. Enki argued that to obliterate such potential was to deny the very essence of what it meant to be divine. They were creators and nurturers of life, not its destroyers. In that moment, Enlil set his gaze upon Utnapishtim, the human who had been saved. Amidst the destruction around them, Seeing Utnapishtim and the ark that had preserved life softened Enlil's heart. The wisdom in Enki's words, the evident devotion of Utnapishtim to the gods, and the realization of the part he himself played in this new beginning led Enlil to a change of heart. In a moment of divine grace, Enlil blessed Utnapishtim and his wife, granting them immortality and a place among the gods. This act was not only a reconciliation between Enlil and Enki, but also a recommitment to the bond between gods and humanity. It was an acknowledgement that life, with all its imperfections and potential, deserved the chance to flourish. From the aftermath of the flood emerged a new covenant between the gods and the mortals. The rainbow, set in the sky by the gods, served as a reminder of this pact. A promise that never again would the world be cleansed by floodwaters. Humanity would grow and thrive under the watchful eyes of the Anunnaki, who had learned the value of mercy, wisdom, and the indomitable spirit of life. The story of the creation of humans and the Great Flood, rooted in the ancient soil of Sumerian and Mesopotamian mythology, is a narrative of destruction and renewal, despair and hope. It underscores the complexity of the divine-human relationship, revealing themes of divine mercy, human resilience, and the interconnectedness of all life. This myth, echoing through the ages, serves not only as a reflection of the ancient world's understanding of the divine, but also as a timeless reminder of humanity's capacity to face adversity, to rebuild, and to forge new covenants in the aftermath of cataclysms. It is a story that, even today, speaks to the heart of the human experience, reminding us of the enduring power of faith, wisdom, and the indomitable spirit of life itself. Thank you all for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. What did you think? Did I miss any details? Let me know in the comments below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, then welcome to the channel. I hope I earned a like and subscription in your eyes. If not, that's okay. I'll keep making videos until I do earn it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I truly appreciate all the views, likes, subscriptions, and kind words and messages. Without you, this channel wouldn't be here today. That's it for now. I hope to see you all in the next one.